Hey everybody! I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your week. I'm so sorry that I'm late. I totally lost track of the time, and now I'm here, so I'm glad, and I'm glad to see you guys here. Um, so, um, what was I going to say? I was going to tell you guys something, and now I can't remember what it is. Anyway, maybe it'll come back to me if it's important, maybe. Um, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do tonight the way that I normally do, which is just to sort of see who steps forward. My guides have me working that way now, and thank you everybody for writing, for posting about the messages that make sense to you. I so appreciate it. It's actually what helps me to know that it's still that doing this is still an important thing. Sorry guys, my wonderful friend who's sitting over there forgot to turn his phone off, or his sound off. All right, guys. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So my guides have asked me to do that. So thank you guys so much for writing and letting me know that the messages make sense to you. That helps me to know that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing this the right way. So, that said, let's see who steps forward for message number 1. All right. So as I'm sort of opening up, the first person that I feel stepping forward, I'm getting a male spirit coming forward. He's saying that he passed away around 62 years old or his early 60s. And he's also saying that he passed away from a heart condition. He's showing me that on Earth he was very, very introverted. He's saying that in the last 6 months of his life he went to the hospital 4 times, and that he had 4 different health illnesses or health issues that came up all at that time. The way that he shows it to me is a kind of a bigger guy. I feel that he was really, really, really kind, and I feel like when he spoke, it was always a loving thing, but I feel that he's saying that at his end of his life, he didn't want to tell people that he wasn't feeling well. So I think maybe he went to the hospital alone, or he didn't really tell anybody that he was not doing so great, and he says he just didn't want to put that on other people. And I also feel that after his moment of death, people found out that he had been ill for quite a while and didn't tell anybody. He's also on the other side with a male who is also older like him, but he passed away a little bit younger of an age, and I feel that that gentleman had some kind of a connection with either law enforcement or uniformed job, so like police, fire, something like that. Whoever he was, I very much get the feeling that he's very connected with this man that came forward first. The message that I'm getting is for 2 females. One of them is older, and the other one is younger, and this is generationally. So he's coming forward for a younger female, but there's also a message here for somebody around his age. So whoever they are, the younger female could be a daughter figure, the one his age could be a wife figure, and he's talking about the daughter's experience of what's going on with her right now in her path. He's saying that she's got some major career changes on the horizon, that she's feeling kind of blocked with what she's focusing on right now, feeling like things need to change. He's also acknowledging a separation that has already happened. It's either divorce, separation that has already happened for the daughter figure. And he's saying that even though it's still hard some days, it's important that as you go through this, you know that this is for the best at this time. And that's what he's saying. For the wife figure, it's purely a thank you. There's a lot of love coming from him to her. He is wanting to kind of apologize for not listening to her when she gave advice. And I think this is dietary, since in kitchen cupboards, so dietary advice. And he says he just had to do this his way, but he's also saying that nothing could have changed his way of passing or the timing of it. So that's message number 1. And also the name Lacey may be significant somewhere here. And I don't think it's somebody in spirit. I feel like this is somebody on Earth, or somebody on Earth that either you know or you're going to meet. But the name Lacey, I heard it clairaudiently very briefly. All right, I'm going to bring forward somebody named Ken or Kenneth. He's a gentleman stepping forward. This is message number 2. I'm getting Ken or Kenneth stepping forward. He's talking about having cancer and being very ill. And I also feel like there was a kidney problem, or maybe he needed like dialysis or something blood-wise, some kind of blood cleaning thing. I do not feel he was elderly this time of death. I'm going to put him middle-aged or a little bit younger than that. So he may have been in his 40s rather than his 50s or 60s. He's also saying that he was very outdoorsy, and he's also coming forward for a son figure, and I think a woman as well that's not far off from the son's age. I don't necessarily think it's a daughter, but I'm feeling that it's somebody maybe connected to his son. He's talking about the camping trip that they were supposed to go on that has not yet, that was not able to happen, that it wasn't able to happen because he got more ill. And I also want to say that he may have passed away in a September or fall time, because I feel like this camping trip was supposed to happen in June, July-ish. And he wasn't able to go, and went downhill very shortly around that time, so either shortly before or shortly after. He is coming forward for his son and for this female. He's sending a lot of love to you. He's also talking to the female about not being able to have children, or she's concerned about it. He is saying the three are with me. The three are with me. He's also saying that you will be able to have children. You will be able to have children. So this is Ken or Kenneth. The year 1998 is sort of significant here. I'm seeing like a comma 98. So 1998 is important. And this is going to sound really weird, but he's talking about the toaster. He's showing me either a cottage or a place that's not a primary residence. It's an old silver toaster. I have no idea what he's talking about, but he's showing me the old toaster. And this could be something to do with his son. He's also showing me one of those talking fish on a wall. So that's one of those plaques with like a fake fish on it. You push a button, music starts, and the thing begins to move. He's showing me that as well. And he's telling me to stop smoking. That's kind of funny. All right, so that is message number 2. Writing down message number 3, I'm getting a female stepping forward from Spirit. She comes in at, okay, there's 2 for somebody here. So we need 2 females coming forward from Spirit. I also feel like one of them was elderly, and the other one was young. The elderly one is saying that she did not have dementia, but people thought she did, and maybe they found out later maybe she didn't. Or she had a medical condition which seemed like it could be dementia, but it wasn't. She says her mind was fairly clear, but her ability to communicate was very off. So either she had, another neurological problem, but it was like she would try to talk, didn't really fully make sense, and then people thought maybe she had another problem. I do feel like she had trouble caring for herself, though. So whatever this issue was, it did create that problem as well. And then the younger female. I get the feeling that when she passed away, it was fairly sudden, it was fairly abrupt. I feel that this kind of came on quickly. I don't think she was in her 20s young. I think she was closer to middle-aged young, but I feel that when she found out she was sick, she found out she was very, very sick. They're coming forward for their family. I think both these women are connected to each other, and they're coming forward for their family. I think that there's at least 3 women that they're coming forward for, and they're saying that even though we are older, we still felt like sisters. We still all felt like sisters. And also there were beautiful traditions in this family. I'm smelling margarita mix. So I don't know if it's like the midnight margarita thing or what, but I'm smelling it. And I also feel that there's one of these females, and I think it may be the youngest or second youngest one, and that is being addressed at this time. So out of the ones on Earth, the 3 or more that are on Earth, the youngest or second youngest one is being addressed by the young female in Spirit that had the illness where she found out she was ill. She found out she was very ill and spiraled down quickly. The message that I'm getting is that she is with you in your grieving. She is watching over you. I think she could be a mother figure to you maybe, but she is wanting you to know that she is watching over you. She's helping you. She's saying that yes, you have been feeling very alone since February, so February is significant here in some way, but she says she's still watching over you, she's still there. You're going to get a trip, an opportunity to go on a trip, and it looks like it could either be mountains or the Grand Canyon, something like that. Big, rocky place, but it's a famous place. You're going to get an opportunity to go, and you're going to feel like you maybe shouldn't, or you're not sure if you should go, or you get weird about it. She's saying it would be awesome, and you should totally go. I'm also getting a message. Oh, we're on to message. We're on to message number 4. So that was number 3. So message number 4, I'm picking up at a young boy. He's coming forward here. He's showing up driving a fire truck, which is weird because you don't think of somebody who's like a toddler, well, a little older than a toddler, I would say under 10 years old though, driving a fire truck. So I'm asking him, why is he driving the fire truck up to me? And he's telling me that he wanted to drive a fire truck so bad to the point where when he saw one, he begged his parents to make it stop and so he could go in it or drive it or whatever. So he has his fire truck in spirit. I believe as an illness or a cause of death, he's bringing me to his abdominal area. I feel like he had some issues here. And I also feel like part of it was either a genetic disorder or something. It affected liver enzymes. I'm seeing liver enzymes clairvoyantly as a big cause of his passing. And it's something that he was born with. So it wasn't an illness or an injury that showed up later. It was something he was born with. He's talking about Jeff or Jeffrey and George. And I don't know what these names are connected to. I just hear the names. So it could be his name, could be people in spirits' names, but I'm getting Jeffrey or Jeff and the name George connected here. See what else he wants to say. He's showing me going to a school that starts with a saint name. So it's like, I don't know, like St. Mary's or saint name school. And he says he loved it there. And he said that even after his passing, he used to sit beside a young boy he knew from school. And that young boy used to say it, that he felt him around. And so he's wanting people to know that, yes, in fact, he did go and sit beside the young boy. And I also heard the name Josh, so it could be the young boy's name, I don't know. But he did go to that person, sat with him in class. I also believe this person grieved very difficultly or very hardly for this younger boy in spirit when he passed. And I also feel that the young boy in spirit has seen that and sends love to his friend. So that was message number 4. Let's see. And the fire truck is leaving. That's kind of funny. That's funny. All right, let's see where we're going now. So message number 5 is from somebody's spirit guide. Let's see. Okay, so this is somebody that is in school. They've got exams coming up, which most people who are in school do right now. But I feel like this is college, university. In fact, I'm going to go to college. I'm getting more of like a community college feeling if you're in the States, or just a college here if you're in Canada. But I am getting very strongly that there's this female that is really stressed to the max. She's thinking about quitting school. They're talking about having a birthmark in a weird place. It's like right inside her wrist. So the woman that's being addressed who's watching this is a birthmark right on the outside of her wrist. And she's in school, very stressed about exams, feeling like she needs to quit. The message I'm getting is do not quit. You are doing much better than what you think at this time, and you will overcome this challenge, difficulty, hurdle, whatever. The message that I'm getting for you as well is to focus on school. So make that your priority. And I also feel an older female coming forward for you that feels like a grandmother vibration. And whoever she is also watching over you very, very much. So she's watching over you. She's from your mom's side of the family. She had breast cancer, but did not pass from that. And it was not there anymore at the time of her passing. I also feel like she passed away from something neurological. So stroke or aneurysm is what it feels like. And she's watching over you as well. She says, say hi to your mother, even though we didn't get along. So if this is a grandmother vibration, she may have been a great grandmother, but not so close to her own children, is the feeling that I have. So she says, say hi to your mother, tell her I love her, even though we didn't get along. And so this is for the girl who's watching or will watch this with the birthmark on the outside of her wrist. All right, let's see where we're going now. All right, we have some automatic writing happening. We're on message number 6. Okay, the first thing that I'm seeing here, okay, this message is for someone named Bree. There's a B, an R, and an E in the automatic writing. So we're going to somebody who's watching this, I believe, because I don't think this is somebody in spirit. I very much feel this is somebody on earth. And the reason I say that is the lines first went this way, and then they started going this way. And when I look at the Bree, It looks like it's on the other side of some of these lines. So I feel like this is from Spirit's perspective, seeing Bree across the veil, from across the veil. So this is for somebody watching named Bree or Brianna, something like that. I also get the feeling this is a grandfather figure stepping forward. I'm getting an older male stepping forward. He had cancer. I feel like this cancer affected his intestines and his bowel, maybe even prostate, something up in there. He is bringing forward the wanting or needing to speak out. He's saying, Bree, that you need to speak out. He's saying that you've been feeling very held back by the people in your life. Lately, he's saying that you've been wanting to speak up about boundaries being crossed. He's saying it's very important to do that. He's showing me the East Coast with him for some reason. So whether he was from there, lived there, if you're from there, live there, he's showing me the East Coast of a country. He's also showing me that he had his own difficulty with speaking up. He had his own difficulty with boundaries and things like that. And he's wanting you to know, though, that it's your worth working on that for. So he's saying use your voice. That's for Bree. That's kind of cool. Let's see if there's anything else for this. Okay, and I'm also getting a flower of life kind of design here, but it's behind a bunch of like darker marks. So to me, this is saying that you have been going through a spiritual awakening, and you've been feeling very cloudy about it, Bree. They're saying that you've been feeling like heavy. And the flower of life to me is always crowns. You've been feeling heavy around here. That's psychically heavy, intuitively heavy, mentally heavy. But don't worry, you are in good hands with your spirit guides, your spirit team, your grandfather. Everybody else there is helping. And that's what I get for message number 6. And as a side note, guys, so many people have been experiencing that. I've had more calls and messages about feeling weird, feeling off, feeling heavy than I have in a very long time. And I was connecting to, my guides and divinity, as we all can. We all can do that for ourselves and other people. And I was connecting in with them, and they were telling me that it's very important for people to trust what they know within themselves about the universe at this time. It's very important. And this is something another one of my really good friends brought through as well, that we need to trust what we feel, what our experiences are, what our knowing is when it comes to our own spiritual path outside of what we've been taught. And, it was actually interesting when my friend told me that. She said that in the next while, people are going to be feeling heavy. People are going to be feeling like forced to take certain types of knowledge or wisdom or traditions or whatever. And that's just going beyond Christmas. I feel like this is in all religions. She said it would be everywhere from New Age spiritualities all the way up to, Christian beliefs and pagan beliefs and all different religious paths. And she's saying that it's very important for people to not feed into that. She said it's very important for people to sit within their own energy, what they know to be true based on their own experiences. Because whatever it is that's hitting the earth plane that's causing some of this to happen, and for people to feel like they have to accept beliefs that don't resonate with them, it is part of a larger thing that has been affecting the earth plane for quite some time that I know that I saw coming. I think I saw it in January, coming in like September, October of this year, and it has. And there's been violence, and there's been, people doing terrible things in all over the world. And, so I know I saw that coming as well. And I think what she's seeing is also going along the same lines with that. And so trust yourselves. Know that you were given a amazing inner compass, the ability to feel out intuitively and through a gut feeling what resonates and what does not resonate. And at this time, it's very important for everybody to go with what resonates with them. If it does not feel good and it does not feel like this is information or traditions or knowledge or whatever that truly is close to your soul, fucking leave it out. Forget it. It's not worth it. It's not worth diluting who you are at any level to take on something that doesn't belong to you anyway. If it does not resonate with you, it does not belong to you. And so allowing yourself to be diluted because of something that does not belong to you, we wouldn't do that with anything else. So don't do it with beliefs. And of course, conversely, don't allow yourself to do that to other people. When you feel adamant about sharing something, when you feel like this is life or death, tradition, knowledge, or information, ask yourself, is this truly going to make or break this other person's life. If the answer is no, and listen, because the voice may be subtle, if the answer is no, drop it and know that either those beliefs are for you or they're for another day, maybe. Very, very important, guys. So that was, I guess, message number 7 was for everybody. So moving on to message number 8. Okay, this message is for somebody, a woman who's alive that's watching this that has major health issues and seeing a hospital bed. So she may be either in the hospital right now, she may be in the hospital a lot. The spirit world is saying that on some level, doctors know what's wrong with her, and then there's still a lot of mystery, or there's tests or things to figure out. I also feel like she was in the hospital in the first part of this year in springtime or summer, because I'm seeing warmer weather. I'm seeing grass tall in a field. So she was also in the hospital at that time, and her guides are stepping forward. They're wanting her to know that, yes, it's exhausting. They're saying she's been feeling like just forgetting it and going and living or dying or whatever on her own without any answers. And they're saying that is not the answer. They're saying that you're almost at the part where everything will make sense. And I see February at the latest. So between now and February, doctors will figure it out. They're saying that there's a piece of the puzzle missing that is not readily visible in the tests that have been done. So if there's been scans, maybe it's in blood. If it's been scans in blood, maybe it's in, I don't know, interstitial tissue, like whatever it is. I'm being shown that what they've been looking at is a part of it, but not the whole thing. There's a piece missing. It's a vital piece, and it will come between now and February. There is some kind of a medication that will be given. It feels more like, I would say almost like a transfusion, but I don't think it's just blood. So, and I don't think it's an organ transplant. So there's something else that will be given to you that's not a drug. It's something the body needs. When this is discovered, you will be given this, and it will work. It will work flawlessly. It will work amazingly. And as time goes on, all of these things will get better. I feel that you've been worried that it's cancer that they're not seeing. I do not feel that from spirit. Of course, I'm not a doctor, but they're saying that that it is not that. They're giving me the feeling it's not that this is something that has been going on with you for a long time, but in the last 5 years, a switch has been flipped within you, and now this is happening, and it will not last forever. When I get to April of next year, this is better, and there's not hospitals the way there has been in the last year or two. So, so please know that things will be okay. I also see, see, I'll draw it out. That draw better than that. This looks like a tattoo that you may have. Maybe I'll bring this closer. This weird kind of like loopy thing looks like it may be a tattoo that you have, something like that. And I get whatever this is here. So forearm, something along those lines. The only other way I could take it is if you know somebody that has the tattoo like that here, or there's somebody around you right now that has a tattoo like that here, then that message is for you about the health stuff. What is message number 8? And guys, I would love it, by the way, if you'd share my video. It helps me, actually. I love having all of you guys on the page. I love the interactions that I get with you guys. I love reading your comments. I love hearing from you. And it's, you guys are why I keep doing this. Obviously Spirit as well, but you guys are why I keep doing this. And I just want that to be as fun as it can be and as helpful as it can be for everybody. So I would love it if you would share this video. All right, we are going to a woman who has just moved out of her long-term home. No, that makes it sound like a nursing home. She's just moved out of the marital home that she was living in. This is for a woman who just moved out of a marital home that she was living in after divorce. I'm writing divorce down. I feel like you're still getting settled into your new place. You're not sure what the future holds. You've been feeling very, very like excited and scared at the same time. So there's sort of this paradoxical feeling that's been there. I want you to know that things are improving. You're about to find love again, and so quickly. You're about to find love again. I cannot go as far as springtime without this happening. You've been thinking about going to the gym or switching a gym or something about working out. The message is do it. I think that's maybe how you're going to meet this person. Lots of love ahead of you, a lot of love. They're saying yes, things will be okay with your son. So there's a custody dispute, whatever. I see that he will be with you full-time, if not almost full-time. And yes, your ex is scary, but you are safe. Whether this is physically safe, mentally safe, emotionally safe, or all of it, I get safety all around you. So you don't have to worry about this person being harmful, as far as I can see, and I hope I'm right about that. That was message number 9. And now I'm going to have some more. Okay, there's a younger male coming forward, and he would be, I think, in his 30s at his time of death. We've got a lot of tattoo type stuff today because the birthmarks. So there's a giant sun, like a sunshine, tattooed here on him, or there was. He's passed now. His passing was murder, or something like that. So either murder. Yeah, I can't go outside of murder. And he's showing me that he lived outside of a crappy part of a town or a city. He wasn't right in the crappy area, but he was not far. But he's also saying that he had a cross tattoo on this side. So maybe a sun on this side, a giant cross on this side. He had short hair like mine. I also feel that he kind of is a bit on the mysterious side. I don't think people really knew, even family and friends, I don't think they really knew what his life was about. And so I also feel like he may have worked in a factory or in a job that put things together, built things, something like that. He's in a really good place. He wants people to know that he's great. He's not in a bad place at all. Let's see what else he'll tell me about his passing. He's talking about the night he passed away. It was late at night, I get just after rain. So I see the ground is still wet, yet it's not still raining. I see a blue car. I see this sort of crappy part of town, and I feel like he was in the crappy part of town, and nobody knows who did it or why. And he wants everyone to know it was not connected to his old life. It was not connected to his old life or things he did, when in his younger years or whatever. Not connected to that. He says that he was caught up in a crossfire. So he was shot. He was caught up in a crossfire. The name Alex is important here. I'm hearing Alex. And I get crossfire. So he was not targeted in any way. Somebody was shooting at somebody else. I think both of those people lived, but he got shot. And I also am getting like 311. So this could be 311 in the morning. Oh yes, he's saying on his way home. He's showing me a bar that has like a pink sign or bright pink lights. He was on his way home. He was walking. There was an older part of town. It looks like an old city, an older part of the city. I get tall buildings with nothing in them. So either there's nobody living there, it maybe was businesses, they weren't there anymore, and that's where it happened. And he's in a good place. He's in a very good place. He had a daughter on Earth that not many people know about. She was 4 at his time of death. He reaches out to her. I hear the name Haley or Kaylee. I think it's Haley. He reaches out to Haley, and he says he loves her very much. Obviously, if not many people knew about her, maybe nobody knows how to get a hold of her, but he is giving this message, and maybe somehow she'll see this. The name Karen is important to this person. The name Karen is coming through as well. Let's see if anything else comes through from this gentleman. Last thing I get, I'm seeing a diamond, a club, a heart, and a spade, so playing cards, suits. All right, I'll leave you with that. That's message number 10. And guys, people have often asked me over the years, like, what happens when somebody commits suicide, or what happens when somebody, is murdered, or somebody's a bad person? They've done all kinds of terrible things. So many people over the years have asked me what happens to those people, and do people get stuck? Do they have to atone for the life they lived on Earth? And when I've asked Spirit repeatedly over the years, do people get stuck? I used to think they did. In fact, I wrote a book on rescue mediumship because I believed for many years that people would get stuck if they had a traumatic death or a traumatic life. And the more I did this work, the more spiritual I became, the more experience I got working with paranormal teams and doing house clearings and all of these things for years, the more I realized that that doesn't happen. And what we see is actually a fragment of that person. So when we have a house that's haunted, or we see scary things, or some weird human-like, ghostly thing in a field, whatever it is, Those are fragments. So when somebody has trauma, whether it's traumatic and they die or traumatic and they don't die, but there's a traumatic experience, what ends up happening is part of their energy field fragments on some level. If you're still alive and you have trauma, shamans, for example, are amazing at bringing those pieces back. The same can be done through counseling or psychiatry, or you know, things where you have to relive that moment until it no longer is a traumatic response. That is the type of soul retrieval. When it's happened in the person's past, what I've seen happen is when I've cleared those spaces, I actually see the person's spirit that's at peace and love in heaven step forward to collect their fragment. And that's what I've seen with stuff like that. So when people pass from suicide, everyone goes to a good place. When people did horrible things on earth, they still go to a good place. Life is hard enough, and we're all here as teachers and students. Some people are dealt terrible lessons, and they're dealt terrible things to teach. That does not take away from their value. Even when they're the shittiest people ever that do the shittiest, most god-awful things ever, it still teaches us that this is not what we want on earth, and so we try to correct that. Why I'm going off on this tangent, I'm not sure, but it is spirit inspired. So if somebody out there or people out there have been wondering those things, just know that yeah, everyone's in a good place when they go. Things that are left over as hauntings or whatever are either non-human entities or they're fragmented energies. But that's that. I actually had been to a haunting where it was haunted by somebody who hadn't even died, we found out. But the description matched that person perfectly, and it just turns out that they had a traumatic experience, so that fragment was still within that space. That space remembered what happened, and so I was special. All right, let's see where we're going now. All right, I'm coming to a man who does not believe in this stuff. I'm coming to a man who does not believe in this stuff. Put my lighter somewhere. And I feel like he's watching. I feel that he really kind of wants to believe, kind of doesn't want to believe. He's not totally skeptical. Well, no, he's totally skeptical, but he's kind of sort of open-minded. And I also feel like he may have, all right, they're showing me him sitting, watching this. He's at a laptop, and the desk or the table is against a wall. I also feel like there's a kitchen in the background. And I also see red, so I don't know if he's red hair, if there's red around him. I also feel that the number 13 is important to this man, so he could have been born on the 13th of a month. Could be the year 2013, obviously not as his date of birth, unless he's really smart kid. Just kidding. I also see, I feel like he's in an apartment, not a house. And I see a fridge that he's kind of like, this is kind of old, maybe I should ask for a new one or buy a new one, but he's not sure, and they're saying he's been saying this forever. I'm getting a man coming forward for you. He's older. He passed away, I would say, over the age of 50, but he was not super elderly. He also was not very tall. I don't think he was a midget, but I don't get very tall. I just heard someone say the luck of the Irish. So this could be a phrase he used. He could have been from Ireland or been Irish, but I'm hearing the luck of the Irish. He's also talking about physics or scientific education. So I don't think that's with him. I think this is with who the message is for. So the man in the apartment with the laptop against the wall. He is saying that he was with you after he passed away. He's talking about physics. I don't know if science is your background or an interest, that you've learned a lot about it, but he is talking about that. He is talking about the white book beside you, the white book to the left of your computer. Yeah, he's just talking about the white book left of your computer. This man also enjoyed drinking. He was funny. He was a great human being. I don't know when he passed away, but maybe it was 2013. But he is just wanting you to know that you are very loved. He watches over you. He is around you. He's helping you. He is saying that, yes, new work is coming. He's showing me January 12th to the 17th is when that shows up for you. So this is to the gentleman who doesn't believe, who's watching, or will watch this. See where we're going now. All right, message number 12. There's a woman that this message is for. She's got glasses. I see brown hair to here. I get sort of curvy body. They're saying that her son is sleeping in the next room. She's wearing something that is a very light pink color. And there's a blanket under her foot. So I think she might be sitting with one leg under her. There's a blanket under her foot that's kind of wrapped in a weird way around it. Anyway, there is a older female stepping forward for you. She comes in as a mother or grandmother. Now I'm getting grandmother vibration from your mom's side of the family. I also feel that she, at her end of life, was very, very sick. And she's saying that you were not able to come and see her. And I think it was for emotional reasons. Either it was too hard, it was too overwhelming, but it's something that you've carried with you. And she wants you to know that that's okay. She does not want you to be weird about that. She says she wasn't even awake, so it's all good. And she doesn't want you to feel bad about that. She's showing me two babies' footprints on something gold, and I feel like this is a memorial. So if you also lost a baby or miscarried, no, could be miscarried, but these are baby footprints. So I'm going to say this child was born. This child is with her in spirit. She's also around a mother figure to you who's alive, and she's got her hand on the mother figure's abdomen and giving healing there. So if your mom has been unwell, she's giving healing. She says, though, that there are changes that your mom has to make a full recovery. She knows what the changes are, but she has to do it if she wants to fully recover. And she says, at this time, that looks very good. So that's message number 12. And guys, the last thing that I'm kind of really getting for everybody for the week ahead, it's very important for people to take the time out that they need. I get this feeling that a lot of people here, as I'm doing these readings and I'm feeling people stepping forward, I'm also very aware of the energy in the chat. I'm not reading the chat like I used to, but I'm feeling it. And what my guides are saying, and what Spirit is saying, is that everybody's just feeling exhausted. They're feeling burnt out. And the message I'm getting for everybody is to take time out for yourself. So, you know, for the next 10 minutes or so, don't do anything if you can. I mean, if you're driving a car right now, first of all, don't watch my video. And second of all, like, maybe don't do nothing for 10 minutes. Horrible sense of humor, guys. But yeah, for the next 10 minutes, don't do anything. Focus on yourself. Focus on your breathing. Feel love within yourself. Even if it's not readily available, go looking for it, whether it's loving yourself, loving the chair you're sitting on, loving the fact that you hate your life, like whatever it is. And I know from personal experience, I've had moments where the only love I could feel was that I loved the fact that I hated my life at that moment. All things change, guys. Every moment is borrowed. Every single one of you has great potential for love for yourself, love for others, and of course the potential to receive love, which can be the hardest thing for all of us. So next 10 minutes, guys, focus on that. I'll wish you all a very good night. I hope that every single one of you gets showered with blessings in the next week. Know that you are phenomenal, loving, kind people, and that I love you, that I know Spirit loves you, that you guys are never, ever alone. I'll see you guys next Monday here at the same place, same time, 7 p.m., and I'll try not to be late today, or sorry, as I was today, I'll try not to be late next week. Every single one of you guys are special, and I'll leave you with that, and I will give you big hugs from here in Ottawa. If anyone wants private readings, go to my website, matthewstapley.com. If you haven't already liked and shared and followed this page, I would love it if you would. Much love, guys. Have a great evening. I'll see you next week.